You probably know by now South Carolina is in the middle of a widespread financial crisis. If you filed a tax return going back to 1998, you could be at risk for identity theft. Here to explain your legal options is the excellence of execution when it comes to litigation himself, attorney David Aylor. Counselor, thanks so much for being here. This thing is everywhere right now. So many people affected. Millions of South Carolina residents could be at risk.
Right, and I think the scariest part is the unknown. You know, what will happen. Obviously, everybody's quite familiar with identity theft. A lot of us have been victims of it. In fact, I teach a class at College Charleston. That's one of the things I ask during the year, and out of about 30, there's usually about 8 of us, including myself. And that's just from various things that you log into or buy online. But what this is talking about is basically where people's Social Security numbers, as well as their banking information, that sort of thing, has been, pirated by someone obviously abroad, and they really don't know who or, per se, and they don't know what's going to happen.
A lot of the flack that the governor's been taking is not releasing this information until about a week after they finally found out the problem. Do you see any kind of legal ramification, any kind of problem there? Well,
potentially there could be some things that will come out of this legally, particularly on the civil side related to what the duties were, not exactly related to the governor, but also really just to the government as a whole, those that were actually holding the information with the Department of Revenue, that sort of thing. And as regards to why she waited, or why the decision was that they waited to announce it, I would assume it has something to do with just some of the investigation that they were still involved in, but that's really just speculation.
Now, they have set up a website, a free credit monitoring reporting service for 1 year. Right now she's trying to extend that to be for life. Do you see that happening?
I don't know, because right now, the last thing that I've most recently seen is that they haven't actually signed the contract with the company because they're trying to determine what the actual cost will be per individual that signs up before they make that deal. But, that'd be a quite hefty bill if they made it permanent.
Indeed, it would be. Now, you teach a class in this. I guess what are some of the best ways to avoid this happening or making sure that it doesn't happen to you in the future?
Well, a lot of people already have, similar services to the one they're offering. You have different programs, like one you hear about a lot is LifeLock, Experian. You see those different commercials with the credit checks. It's really important to get that regardless, whether you think you may be one of those people or not, and then just continuously check your credit at least every 6 months or so, because sometimes things will come onto your credit that may not even be identity theft issues. It may be bills that come on incorrectly, they get discharged, and it can really affect your credit and affect what you may need to do later in life with loans and different things like that.
This is such a hard crime to really prosecute. If they ever do indeed get this guy or group of people, what charges do you think that he would face?
Well, they'd be looking at a number of different federal charges, but again, as you said, it's so difficult to try to, really go back and try to route the source, particularly when it's going to be somewhere abroad.
Difficult stuff.